2022 Rowan University football team finished off the year with a 7-3 record and a 4-2 record in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. 8 Profs were named to the all-conference team. The Profs started off the year strong with a big showing at Widener, with the Profs pounded the points on early with a 21-0 lead into the half. Mike Husney threw for over 150 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. Husney connected with James Farah, Eddie Jamison, and John Maldonado to secure the 42-20 win for the Brown and Gold. The Profs continued their strong start to the season as they traveled to take on Springfield. The Profs scored 2 touchdowns early in a close game between the Profs and the Pride, but a late touchdown pass from Mike Husney to John Maldonado and an interception from A.J. Curvin sealed the 38-35 win for the Profs. The Profs would fall to Salve Regina in their home opener and in the NJAC season opener at Christopher Newport. Following their quick trip south, the Profs returned home to welcome the Lions from TCNJ under the Friday night lights. The defense showed up big for the Profs, with Jason Blanks recording 2 interceptions in the first half, one being on the first offensive play for the Lions. The Profs pulled out the magic tricks in the second quarter, with Eddie Jamison throwing the touchdown to Mike Husney before Husney would return the favor on the next drive. The Rowan defense would step up again before halftime as they blocked TCNJ's field goal to keep the lead at 14. The Lions would eventually take the lead in the second half, putting the Profs down 7. The Lions looked to seal the game with a 20-yard field goal, but again another block from the Rowan defense gave the Profs a chance. A late touchdown run from Mike Husney gave the Profs a chance to tie, but a missed extra point put the Profs down 1. Jake Hurler attempted an onside kick, which was recovered by the Brown and Gold to give the Profs a chance to win it. 25-yard run by Mike Husney and a 20-yard pass to Eddie Jamison set up a 36-yard field goal for Jake Hurler to win the game for the Profs. Husney continued to be crucial for the Profs a week later, scoring both rushing touchdowns for Rowan. Jason Blanks also continued off his strong performance from the week before, forcing and recovering a fumble in the dying seconds of the game to give the Profs the win over William Patterson. Rowan continued to knock off NJAC opponents, picking up their 3rd consecutive conference win when they took down Kane 17-10 at home. The Profs would travel to take on the reigning NJAC champion Seagulls at Salisbury the following week. It was a back-and-forth matchup, with Rowan taking the lead at halftime before the Seagulls would pull away with a 28-23 win over the Profs. The Profs would end the year with back-to-back wins at home against Montclair State and the University of New England. The win over the Redhawks was in large part to the Rowan defense picking up 2 interceptions, with Eric Bryant highlighting one, taking it all the way back to the house, 80 yards to give the Profs the 27-7 win. A windy and rainy night in the Borough didn't slow down the offense in the season finale for the Brown and Gold. The Profs came out hot, with James Farah scoring 8 minutes into the game, with Jake Hurler putting the Profs up 10-3. The Profs entered halftime tied with the Nor'easters, but 28 points in the second half, with 2 touchdowns from John Maldonado, along with C.J. Barrett and Kyron Roan, put away the victory for the Profs. Ahmad Gant, James Farah, Mike Husney, and John Maldonado were named to the all-conference first team, with Clem Cafaro being named to the second team. C.J. Barrett and Mike Masholi rounded out for the Profs, being named NJAC honorable mentions. Mike Husney leaves the program after throwing a conference-leading 18 touchdowns this season. The Toms River native ran for 5 rushing touchdowns and a career-best 107 yards against New England. Husney finishes with a career 61 touchdowns in the Brown and Gold, throwing for over 5,000 yards. John Maldonado led the conference in receptions, yards, and touchdowns this past season. The Glassboro native ended his career with 21 touchdowns, receiving over 2,000 yards in his career. Masholi leaves the program finishing the year with 37 tackles, tying a career-high 14 in the Profs' win over New England. The senior finished with a total of 203 tackles.